Okay, people, I'm back. Tales from the Pen, part 18, I think. There's so many videos, I don't even know anymore. Yeah, people, so if you're new to the channel, please go down, hit subscribe, hit a like, leave a comment. Let me know how you think about these videos. If you're new to the channel and just happened upon this here video, my name is Fred, I'm from Queens. And what I do on this channel is I talk about all my years in the penitentiary. By the time I was 32, I had half my life in jail. I went to prison at 16. And what I do on this channel is to deter people from making the same mistakes I made. That's what I do. I tell stories. I talk about what I've seen, stuff I've been through, and I talk about just life. I don't just talk about penitentiary in this thing. Sometimes I do, but there's sometimes I go off topic and I speak about life. That's what I do on my channel. I don't do it in a glorification kind of way, because as I always say, dudes been glorifying jail since I was little, acting like it was nothing. And I'm here to tell you that they're liars. But I also do, I speak about from Rikers Island, and I speak about from 9 different penitentiaries I've been in. Again, stuff I've been through, stuff I've experienced, stuff I've seen. In hopes that maybe some kids are watching this and they don't do what I did and make same dumbass choices and same dumbass decisions that I made. That's what my channel is based upon. Today I woke up to a bit of disturbing news. I woke up to kid Pop Smoke from Brooklyn. He was murdered out in LA. Home invasion robbery. Basically jealousy. Bum ass dudes didn't have anything, and they tried to take what was his. Because as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, the streets, they don't love you. The streets, the hood, don't love you. Now Pop Smoke is dead. Guess what his boys are gonna do? They're gonna put him on a shirt and sell him and move on with their lives. That's what people do. The streets don't love you. The streets is filled with nothing but jealous people. The streets is filled with nothing but people who are envious of what you have. I used to see that a lot in the penitentiary too. People were getting robbed left and right in the penitentiary. And it wasn't by dudes who, people used to look at they gangster. I used to look at the dudes that were robbing people and be like, they bums. Dudes used to talk all this murder one, all this money they was getting in the streets, all the cars and nice clothes they had, but they was in jail robbing people for their sneakers. I used to see it all the time, especially going to court. On Rikers Island, going to court. You used to have some dudes who was claiming they was getting all this money and they was all this in the streets. They would go to court with bum stuff. They would go to court with their bummy sneakers, shoes, whatever. And they would go into the bullpens with the purpose of robbing somebody. Robbing somebody's Nikes or somebody who had new sneakers. This was their intentions from the door, from the beginning. When they got dressed in the morning, leaving their cells, their intentions was to go to the bullpen and rob somebody. When you was young and had that mentality, the dudes looked up to those kind of dudes like, wow, those guys are tough. They robbing people for their sneakers. Again, I used to look at them and be like, they bums. Talking all this getting money stuff, but gotta rob somebody else for their sneakers. Gotta rob somebody. I've seen people rob for their socks. Dude had a polo socks one time. I seen it. Dudes ran up on him, pulled a knife out, told him take his socks off. Took his polo socks. Dudes would take people's t-shirts, whatever. You be in the pen and you hear the next dudes in the next pen, they be talking. One dude be on the front of the gate, and he'd be talking to his boy, and he'd be like, yo, what's going on? What we got over there? Dude would look around, oh, we got some Nikes over here, we got some Reeboks over here. Because people are jealous, man. People are, you know, bums. These are the type of people that are in the penitentiary, man. That shit is not gangster. It never was gangster to me. I never robbed anybody for anything. I ain't have to. I remember this one dude, his name was Dubar. I was in Caxsaki with him. We was a couple spots, but Caxsaki, he was the porter on the tier. And he was running around robbing, you know, everybody. We were in A3. Anybody knows about Caxsaki, it's A3 and B3 are connected. So he was in A3. So in order to get to B3, you have to walk through A3. And he was the porter, so he'd be out. So he'd be running back and forth, B3 and A3. It's just a little corridor, and you run back and forth. He stayed robbing dudes. Dudes would come back from wherever they were, and we used to call them sneak thieves. That's what he used to do. He used to sneak thieve people. He wasn't running up on people, putting a knife or, you know, nothing like that. He was just, when they weren't there, you know, he'd take a broom and fish stuff out of their cells. Or get the police to open the dude's cell, or however he did it. He used to sneak thieve people. They come back and their shit's gone. Do it all the time. I seen it. I remember this one kid, I think his name was Rob. He's from Harlem. Dubar's from Brooklyn. Dubar robbed him, and the kid came at him with a can top. You see, that's the thing. You may not have a razor. You may not have a knife. But dudes in there get cut and stuff. They sell cans. So you open up a can, you take the can top, you bend it backwards, you know, and you wrap it in like in case, so you don't want to get cut. You know, if you didn't have none, you took toilet paper and put it on the top. And that's it. Now that whole, you know, the whole rim right there. He came at Dubar with a can top. Cut Dubar a little bit on his arm, stuff like that. Dubar went to Attica. Still on that same stuff. Still on that sneak thief stuff. It's a fact. He robbed a Spanish kid, took his army coat. All the other Spanish kids wasn't having that. We weren't just going to come up here and doing all that. Dubar was robbing a lot of people and getting away with it. But he robbed this one kid, and the kid wasn't having it. And dudes knew it was Dubar, said it was Dubar. They went out to the yard. The kids ran up on Dubar while he was on the weights, hit him, bam! Hit him a few times, bam, bam, bam. Left the knife in his neck. Before the police could come out, the kid cut his own self. Took a razor and cut himself. Said it was self-defense. He ended up beating that body. He beat the murder charge. I just tell these stories so people can understand that these are the type of things and events that happen in the penitentiary. People get robbed all the time. But if you don't put yourself in those situations, these type of things won't happen. You won't come back to your cell and have nothing. Now you're forced to do something. You come back to your cell and somebody snuck thief you, you have to do something because everybody else is looking at you. Even if you got to pick a herb, even if you got to pick somebody, that's the person that's got to get it. This is a true story. It's facts. I'm going to tell a quick story about myself. So I went from Caxsaki, which was probably the roughest jail in the state at the time, in the early 90s. And I went to a little medium. And I had like 8 bags of stuff. I had mad stuff. So dudes should have known right then and there that I'm coming from a wild spot with a lot of things. I was okay. So I went to this little medium. And I wasn't even there a day. I just got there. They sent me to a dorm. Now, when I got there, my man Giz was there from Queens, Visual. He was in another house, though. So it was like the first, you know, they called chow, whatever. I had my bags. I had only took my tapes out. I only unpacked a little bag of tapes and my tape, my tape player. True story. I guess dudes saw the skin complexion and, you know, got confused like a lot of people do. So I went to chow. I ain't really know nobody. Like I said, my man Giz was in another spot. When I came back, I seen that I had a couple tapes were missing. And I knew what I had. And I said, oh, so dudes wanted to just take a little bit just to see what was going to happen. If I ain't do nothing, they was probably going to come for all my stuff. I said, oh, this is what we doing here. Okay. Again, I ain't know nobody wasn't, you know what I mean? I was like, okay. All right. So I went out to the yard and I was talking to my man Giz. I was like, yo, this, you know what I mean? Because Giz knew a lot of people there. And Giz was like, what? And we went to Big Freeze. You know what I'm saying? My man Big Freeze out of Queens. And Freeze was like, yo, that kid right there, he's running the house. He's been in that house 6 years, this one kid. I said, he's been in the house 6 years. He knows what's going on. So I saw Freeze talking to him, Freeze and Giz. They were like, yo, my man, blah, blah. And I saw the kid laughing. He was like, I don't know what happened, smiling. I said, okay, he's the one. True story. I really told this story. I said, you know what? He's the one. He want to smile. He think it's a joke. He think it's a game. Okay. He came back in. We went back to the house. I went into the day room. You know, and this kid Junior was there. Junior was from East New York. Junior was mad cool. Junior had been down at that time maybe 15 years. And he could see it in my face. I was pacing back and forth. I was waiting for this kid. So the kid came in the day room, and I'll never forget this. The kid had his big chair in front of the TV, like it was his house. Because that's the thing, whoever usually puts their chair, in mediums, whoever puts their chair in front of the TV, those are the dudes that's running the house, because they running the TV, they think they owning the place. I'll never forget it. Dude came walking in, swear to God, he came in on everything I love. He came walking in, he had a robe on, he had a soup in one hand, and he had sandwiches in another. He walked past me, I demoed him. Boom, boom, bang, boom. He fell into the garbage can on my kids. Dropped everything. Boom, bang, boom. Hold that. Stuffed him. He fell into the garbage can. As he's in the garbage can, I'm still stomping his ass out. Letting everybody else know, don't play with me. They took me to the box. They came out the box. But before I came out the box, he had already got out the box. Because he was like a secretary for like one of the captains in the jail. He only got like 3 days. They gave me like 15 days or something like that. And when I came out the box, I got my tapes back. He gave me my tapes back. You know, on some, I didn't do it, but I got them back. I know who did it. True story. Because you got to get your respect in the penitentiary. Anybody take something from you, anybody do something, you better represent. And I'm just giving you that as an example. That was the one and only time that anything ever got taken from me. And I got my shit back. On my kids. But it's just disturbing when I see these young boys ready to throw their life away. You know, you think they're not going to catch those kids who did this to Pop Smoke? Of course they're going to catch them, and they're going to give them life in prison. And then I want to ask them kids right there, was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward? The reward being a few chains or whatever the kid had in the house. And the risk is the rest of your life in prison. When no one's going to send you a dime. No one's going to send you a package. They might rap about you and put your name in a song. It's just crazy to me. The streets is all messed up now, man. Especially in all the hoods, man. This gang life is dumb now. You got dudes willing to do the rest of their life in prison for their homies. But can't get a 9-to-5 job to support their wife and kids. There's something wrong with that mentality. There's something wrong with grown-ass men. Grown men. I can understand sometimes even the younger mentality because they don't understand. And this is why they need people like me out here. But you have grown men. Grown. Willing to pop and throw their life away. 25 to life. Go back to behind the wall. For their homies. For their boys. Rather than to work an 8-hour job to support their kids. There's something wrong in that mentality. As you guys see, I'm a little upset because it's just crazy. You know, we lost, I ain't no Pop Smoking nothing, but he was 20, he was young, he was on the come up, he was from the hood, and he was about to get out the hood. But people were jealous. Why he got something and I don't? Sucker mentalities. And I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, I lived a certain lifestyle, man. I get it. And this is why I do what I do, man. For all you young kids out here, taking chances. All you young kids taking risks and not really understanding what you're doing. Not really understanding, the consequences of your actions. Behind every choice, there's consequences, man. They're going to catch those dudes. It's just a matter of time. You want to know why? Because there's too many rats out here. The police are already calling their rat informants who are who are running around the hood. Like, yo, who did that? What's the names you're getting? It's a fact. I'm saying it now. No one's got caught yet, but you'll see. Because of great police work. Half the time it's not even great police work. It's dudes telling on dudes. Happens all the time. Dudes tell on each other. I've seen it millions of times, even in the penitentiary, where co-defendants are supposed to not see each other. But they do. Especially back in the days in the 4 building, if you was an adolescent and you told on your co-defendant, there was no other place they're sending you but to see 74. So you was going to have to see your co-defendant. I've seen co-defendants stab, cut, do all types of things to other co-defendants who told on them. Facts. I seen a dude get cut across his eye. Where he's like this now. Because he made a statement when he got arrested. Act like he held it down, but when the lawyer, the lawyers get all that information, man. And tell him, your co-defendant's the one telling on you. What? Yeah, oh yeah. Came back to the bullpen, tore his co-defendant up. And the co-defendant was a dude he knew from the streets. They was tight. They was cool. But when the lights come on, when they got you in that room, and they're throwing football numbers at you, guess what happens? Oh, yeah. The Tekashi comes out of everybody. Everybody's shitting on Tekashi. And I get it. I understand it. People making jokes. I get it. But when the feds come to you and say, listen, man, you're about to get 50 years unless you tell on this person, guess what's going to happen? Even these people, gangster dudes watching this right now. So I know you watching. Guess what's going to happen? They going to tell. It's what happens. It's very rare someone will hold it down, man. As some of you guys know, I was offered 2 1/3 to 7, man. 2 1/3 to 7. 2 years. And I already had almost 2 years in. True story. I ended up going to trial. I had almost 3 years in. Damn near. Because I ain't tell. I refused to do that. But one of my co-defendants did. And he's free. And I did almost 16 years for not telling. That don't make me gangster, nothing like that. That don't mean that. I'm just saying it's very rare that it happens, man. As I say all the time, watch First 48 on A&E. Watch it. You'll see it all the time. Gangster dudes, tattoos all on their face. Soon as them lights come on, soon as they show them a video, she was like, oh, it was him. He did it. And everyone thinks that their boy wouldn't tell or they won't tell. Come on, man. Until you put in those type of situations, please. Don't tell me what you would or wouldn't do, man. I hate people like that. Well, I would never tell. You ever been questioned for murder or anything bad? Or they ever throw any football numbers at you? No? Well, then shut up. This is coming from somebody who the worst of throwing crazy numbers at. I'm telling you. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because this younger generation has no clue. They have no clue. I try to paint pictures sometimes so people can understand, so they can be brought into my world and the world that I lived for a long time. Kids. You know, I know a lot of adults watch my channel, and I get that. But kids, if there are any kids watching, or adults, you got kids, put them in front of this and let them see. Let them hear the conviction in my voice. Let them understand. Half the time, you're only going to be as good as the people around you. And when you're surrounding yourself with negativity, and you're surrounding yourself with bangers, and you're surrounding yourself with all that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get indicted. Like yesterday also here in New York, a bunch of you know, just I think it was Star Brim and 15, 16 other dudes in certain sets. They got indicted by the feds. Why? Because the Fed, and they say, you know how they got indicted? They got indicted from confidential informants in the gang. And they got indicted also by their social media pages. Because dudes be online, YouTube, Instagram, and all the talking all this gangster shit. Like the police don't watch. Like the only people that's watching this is only my homies and people who, you know, regular people. No. The police, the feds, they sit back, they watch. They indicted her off social media. I've been saying this stuff for 6, 7, 8 months now. I've been doing this. I've been doing this since June. Saying the same things. I don't wish indictments on anybody, but you're indicting they're not even indicting you. You're indicting yourself. By getting on these social media platforms and talking stupid. You'll never hear me talking about that. You'll hear me talk about stuff in the past, stuff that maybe had happened. You won't hear me talking about stuff I'm involved in because I'm not involved in nothing. I don't claim nothing. I don't got nothing against dudes who do. I'm just saying, but you got to think before you on here talking and showing guns and drugs and your money on the platform. They say Pop Smoke dropped his address on Instagram and Facebook. Like, this is where I'm at. Why? Why do all that? Why show guns on Instagram? Why show drugs on Instagram? Why are you showing stacks of money when you ain't got a job on Instagram? You're gonna get indicted. It's not a game out here, people. The streets is not a joke. And as I always say, the hood don't love you. The streets don't love you. It's a fact. It's just crazy. I just wanted to get up on here because, again, I woke up to this news. The kid got killed, and I was like, you know what? I need to do a video today. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, but we going to talk. Flipping the subject, man. Quick change of the subject. As everybody knows, This weekend, I got my first official Tales from the Pen podcast, real podcast coming up. You got to see the table. The table is amazing. The room, everything is great. We're ready to roll. I'm going to be interviewing my boy Ja, a.k.a. Lawrence Bartley. Official dude. Was official in the mountain. Anybody who was real in the mountains knows Ja. This is my dude. We was together for a few years in Clinton, and he's out here doing such positive things right now for prison reform, and he's got his own magazine, and he's doing big things in the Marshall Project. Salute to my man Ja, and I'm going to be interviewing him this weekend. We'll edit it, probably be out maybe Monday, Tuesday, not really sure, but I'm excited, people, and again, thank you for everybody who supported me. Thank you for everybody who believed in me. Thank you for all my subscribers, because I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. You know, I started just like this on the iPhone with 30, 40, 70, 75, and it just progressed subscribers. I believed in myself. I believed in what I'm talking about. And other people believed in me too and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm willing to do this. Let's get this done. And now I'm, hopefully going to be at a different level. And again, it all comes with yourself. You have to believe in you. Because as I said in the office video, if you don't believe in you, who will? It starts with you. Change, everything starts with you. If you're out here doing negative, doing crazy things, change starts with you. And on that note, people, we know the motto. Experience is the greatest teacher. But somebody else's experience could be just as valuable if you listen and pay attention. And on that note, Fred White, signing off.